All right, so if you guys remember a couple months ago, there were many Republicans across the United States that decided that it would be a good idea to cut federal unemployment benefits in an effort to basically starve the unemployed population back into accepting some of these shitty, low-paid, no-benefit jobs. And basically, anybody with half a brain at that time, and listen, I don't like to brag about myself or anything, but I would consider myself to have at least half a brain. And we all predicted, because it was a very easy thing to predict, that this was going to backfire, that it wouldn't actually work in getting people back into the labor market, and it would do nothing but have a negative impact on those people, inflicting unnecessary suffering, basically at the expense of some of the most vulnerable people within society. So we have now been vindicated, and we have some data and evidence on this. So ending unemployment benefits had little impact on jobs and fueled $2 billion in spending cuts, study finds. So let's go ahead and read some of the details on this. So states that withdrew early from federal unemployment programs pushed few people back to work and fueled a nearly $2 billion cut in household spending, potentially hurting their local economies, according to new research. So 26 state governors, all Republican except for one of them, opted out of the pandemic-era program several weeks before their official expiration on Labor Day, and enhanced benefits were keeping the unemployed from looking for jobs and fueling a labor shortage, is what they were saying. And that bet seems to have had a limited payoff so far, according to a paper authored by economists and researchers at Columbia University, Harvard University, and the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and the University of Chicago. And the research was published on Friday. And the data suggests unemployment benefits aren't playing a big role in hiring challenges, and that other factors are having a larger impact. I wonder what some of those other factors may be. Could it be the fact that many of these billion-dollar profitable corporations are offering starvation wages to their potential employees? I don't know. Maybe that would have something to do with it. I'm not an economist, but apparently even the economists don't have any fucking idea what they're talking about. At least the Republican economists who decided that this would be a good idea. So states, just to give you a perspective on the actual real data here, so states that ended federal unemployment benefits early saw larger job gains among the unemployed. Their unemployment jumped 4.4 percentage points relative to jobless individuals in states that kept benefits flowing, according to the paper, which analyzed data through the first week of August. So a little bit of a jump there, right? 4.4 percentage. However, okay, and this is the reality of it, that translates to just 1 in 8 unemployed individuals in the cutoff states who found a job in that time period, and the majority, 7 out of 8, didn't find a new job. And we don't even know if that 1 in 8 that did find a new job found a job because they cut federal unemployment benefits. There's no reason to believe that that's even the case. So basically, this did absolutely nothing in terms of pushing people back into the workforce. It did basically nothing, okay? 7 out of 8 in these cutoff states did not find a new job. So all you ended up doing is causing pain and suffering to these people, these families, you go look at the data too. We saw an uptick in hunger at the time that they were cutting these unemployment benefits. So there are real world consequences to these types of things. And again, it doesn't even make sense from an economic perspective, because here's the real kicker. The unemployment dynamic, a loss of benefits without resulting job income for most people, led households to cut their weekly spending by 20%, according to the paper. And as a result, economies of the cutoff states saw a reduction of nearly $2 billion in consumer spending from June through the first week of August. Quote, they turned down federal transfers and that money didn't come back into the state from new job income, University of Toronto assistant professor Michael Stepner said, and he also co-authored the paper. A 20% spending cut amounts to a big reduction in quality of life for these households, which are largely lower income. So again, in other words, you basically decided to cut unemployment benefits, push people further into poverty. You didn't get anybody to go and get a job, right? Because this wasn't going to work from the beginning. We knew that it wasn't. And on top of that, you ended up losing your states billions of dollars in potential revenue. And again, they cut the federal unemployment benefits, okay? Federal, meaning it was allocated by the federal government and didn't cost them anything. So they basically turned away free money that then could have been given to people to go pay for basic life necessities and would have been injected straight back into their local economies. So not only did you cause unnecessary pain and suffering to the most vulnerable people in the country, but on top of that, you cost your states billions of dollars, okay? So even if you are a conservative, even if you are a soulless capitalist and you don't care about the humanitarian consequences of enforcing a policy like this, then you should care about the economic consequences of a policy like this. So it's just wild to me that conservatives always like to joke about how, oh, well, leftists, they don't understand economics at all. Well, this is conservative economics, okay? It's trickle-down economics. That's the only thing that they know how to do. They cut taxes taxes for the rich, and they cut benefits for the poor. They slash the social safety net, and they do everything that they can to inflict unnecessary pain and suffering on the most vulnerable people in the country. And at the end of the day, it doesn't even help economically.